Journey to God's House, chapter 23, entitled, Welcome to New York, Now Fuck Off. So in this chapter, Brock Talon talks about some of his experiences living at God's house and the surrounding areas. So not only was he new to the Bethel life, which is very strict and regimented, he was new to the New York City life. He talks about one instance where he took a train with some friends to the Bronx Zoo. And at one point, the subway came above ground and they passed through the South Bronx area, and it looked like a war zone. There were burned out buildings, burned out cars, and burned out people. And that everyone's facial expressions was that of just despair, and it was heartbreaking to him. So he was so inexperienced at life that he became emotional at that point. Another time was when he was just out walking in the neighborhood and not really paying attention to where he was going. And next thing you know, he stumbled onto a part of town called Bedford-Stuy. That is not a very good place to be at, especially by yourself. And so he felt very uneasy in this place as he stumbled upon things that he probably stumbled upon for the very first time in his life. So he quickly realized that he needed to get back home very fast, and so he made his way back home. But again, that was another experience of his. Another one was accidentally stumbling upon a gay pride parade where a lot of the men were wearing G-strings and assless chaps, coming up to him and saying things like, "Hey sugar, you want some of daddy?" and then kissing each other, groping each other, and laughing at his obvious shock of seeing homosexual men for the first time. So the bottom line is, it was tough for him to get used to New York City, as is for a lot of people. I know the few times that I've been up there, it's not a place I would enjoy living, but for some people it is. It's a place that they love and they like living at, but that's not for me. It's too big of a city. And anyways, he talks about one day he had a visitor come to Bethel and how he was excited because he just didn't get visitors very often, and his family lived very far away. And so when you get visitors, you probably want to show them around New York City, the Big Apple, all of that good stuff. And so he was talking with his visitor, his friend, and he was probably speaking a little bit too loudly, and he said that New York people are rude, but the taxi cab drivers were the most rude of them all. They'll run you over if you give them a chance and then flip you off and yell at you for your trouble. And he had just said that because his friend had almost got hit by a taxi cab. But there was a little old lady who was in the vicinity and was listening to what they were saying. So she looked at them in anger, waved her umbrella, and said, "We're not at all like that, you asshole. If you don't like it here, why don't you go fucking back to where you came from, you insert racial slur." And with that, he said, "I rest my case." So those are just a few of his experiences getting used to the Bethel and the New York City life. Thank you for taking time to listen to my summary of the book, Journey to God's House. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter.